Hi everyone, I am Rency E. Pontigon, a third-year college student taking up the course of Bachelor of Science in Accounting Information System or BSAIS from General Desus College. So for today's video guys, I will be your lovely demonstrator in preparing financial report using Microsoft Excel based on the relevant information provided by our lovely, wonderful, and warm-hearted instructor in Pre-3 entitled Managing Information and Technology. And if you guys wonder about the learning objectives of this video, watch and come along with me until the end. But first of all, if you haven't subscribed at my channel, it is the best time to subscribe now. So what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and subscribe now for more wonderful videos. Char! Wala pala ako YouTube channel. In further ado, here are the learning objectives for today's video. First, understand the different financial reports, particularly the accounts receivable aging report, sales agent performance report, and product profitability analysis report. Second is review and examine the pivot table and its advantages. Third is identify the top performing agents for the year based on their total sales in receivable report. And lastly but not in least, utilize the different functions in Microsoft Excel or Google Sheet. So are you guys excited to comprehend more? So let's begin in... First, a financial report I introduced to all of you guys is the AR Aging Report. An aging report, also called Account Receivable Aging Report, is a record of overdue invoices from a specific time period that is used to measure the financial health of the company and its customer. Aging reports display overdue payments and are a great tool to identify working capital issues. The report can be used to help set credit policies and monitor customer credit quality in a business or company. Now, the question is how to prepare an aging analysis report using Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. But for now, Google Sheet is our highlighted application as it is available for our laptop. The first scenario is you were assigned as an account analyst of the AR department and your supervisor wanted to see the aging report as of the running date. The aging report must show the following: A. Outstanding balances of the customer. B. Distribution of account balances per day on receivables. C. Responsible sales account specialist assigned per region and per customer. And lastly, the status of receivable per line item. And for the status of receivables per line item, we may use the following. For collection and for check preparation, it's for a payment processing where payments are to be expected. For follow-up status and awaiting for the response already emailed, it's applicable for an overdue item or overlooked item that is not yet processed. And for reconciliations and missing invoice, it's applicable for overdue items normally with problem or issues. So here are the raw aging files that our supervisor provided to us. It contains invoice date, posting date, running date, areas, region, customer, item, unit, unit cost, and total cost. The first thing we do is open a new tab and rename it as details since it contains all the data that will be the basis of our AR aging report using a pivot table. And to create a detailed aging report, the step 1 is label the following cell. From the previous headlines in aging raw files, add additional headers for each column based on the requirements needed, such as aging, past due, sales agent, month, year, quarter, business units, and status. So far, that's the need of our supervisor based on the scenario I present to you. Take note, don't forget to create criteria for your aging report because we will utilize the VLOOKUP formula for preparing our report. Similar to this, I create a criterion, particularly 6 tables for VLOOKUP in aging, past due, sales agent, quarter, business units, and status. Step 2. We will input data in the corresponding information for our customers, their orders, and other information underneath the headlines using formulas such as VLOOKUP, text, etc. First, in aging, we use VLOOKUP and fill the needed data. Search key or what you want to look up, range the table where you want to look for it, index 3, the column number in the range containing the value to return, and 1, the return on approximate or exact match. Then lock it using the F4 shortcut key. But in my Google Sheet, it doesn't function, so I lock it manually using the $sign. So the result will show and check for autofill, or you can use drag down if you want. Next is the pass through. Actually, they are the same in the formula, so I will copy the formula from aging and change 4 instead of 3 based on what we are looking for in the table column. Again, the result will show and check for autofill, or simply drag it down. Another sales agent. Using VLOOKUP again, click the region, the table, 2 and 0, lock and check the autofill. For the month, we use the text formula, invoice date, and 3 small letters of M with a quotation mark. Then the month will appear. Click the autofill and the result will show. In the year, simply $, year, and invoice date. Then check the autofill and it will be automatically filled out. Next, month year. Just simply enter $, again, the month, and symbol quotation mark, space, quotation mark, and symbol, and the year. Another, the quarter. Going back to VLOOKUP formula, click the month, the table, 2, 0, then lock it again. For business units, $, again, VLOOKUP, within included the item, the table, 2 and 0, lock again and check the autofill. And last but not the least, the status column, $, again, VLOOKUP formula, within included the aging, the table, 2 and 0. Lock for the last time and click the autofill. Finally, a detailed report of our aging report is successfully done. Now, the next step I present to you is the account receivable report using a pivot table. To make an AR report, we will utilize the pivot table. Are you familiar in this table? Okay, I will define it for you guys. A pivot table is an interactive way to quickly summarize large amounts of data. You can use a pivot table to analyze numerical data in detail and answer an anticipated question about your data. Basically, through pivot table, our tasks will become manageable and convenient as it paved the way for a long process. So going back to preparing of AR aging report, as you can see, here is the table of our receivable report that contains all the data. Step 1. Select the cell you want to create a pivot table from. So here is our data set. Step 2. Go to Insert and click the pivot table. Then make sure that all your headings are having some content, and if there's a blank, the table will not let you proceed. Step 3. This will create a pivot table based on an existing table arranged. After that, you will see a screen structure as I highlighted here. In the Create Pivot Table dialog box, click OK, and then note you don't have to change any default settings. Step 4. In the Pivot Table Fields dialog box, we will choose corresponding fields based on the requirements needed by our supervisor. I will pick the sales agent and drag it into the row area. I will highlight it for you guys. Also, the customer here and the status label. Step 5. Next, drag and down the aging label in the column area, and it will reflect with days outstanding, the current 1 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, 61 to 90 days, 91 to 120 days, 121 to 180 days, 181 to 360 days, and overdue 360 days. Add for values area is the total cost. It will reveal the sum of total costs. Alright, our aging report is finally done. Now we can submit it right away to our supervisor based on the scenario as an account analyst in the AR department. Next, What do you think is the second business report I will present to you guys? Are you curious now? So here it is. Sales Agent Performance Report showing the top performing agents using pivot table. This report allows you to view how your sales representatives are doing, and this way you can measure the performance and track who consistently exceed expectations and crush their quota by estimating the total and expected value of your pipeline. Second scenario. The company has 5 plants, and each plant has a responsible sales specialist. Based on the receivable report, your manager asks you to submit the names of sales agents with their performance for the last 4 quarters to identify the top performing agent for the year based on their total sales. Adam Smith in North Department, Taylor Swift in South, Billie Eilish in Central, Dua Lipa in East area, and for last is Ariana Grande in the West part. So as you can see, here is the table of our receivable report that contains all the data. Again, first select the data set and go to Insert and click the Pivot Table. This will create a pivot table based on existing table arrange. After that, you will see a screen structure. In the Create Pivot Table dialog box, click OK. Note, you don't have to change any default settings. Step 4. In the Pivot Table Field dialog box, we will choose corresponding field based on the requirements needed. Pick the region label and drag it in the row area. Also, the sales agent. Next, drag and down the quarter label in the columns area and it will reflect from first quarter up to fourth quarter. And for values area is the total cost and it will reveal the sum of the total cost. Instantly, our pivot table is now filtered. The top performing agent for the year based on their total sales is Adam Smith from North Agent Representative with a grand total of 11,408 sales on record. So do you want more? Stay tuned for our last business report using a pivot table. And for the last scenario, as part of your organization's financial management, you are instructed to submit a report regarding the profitability of each business unit. The report must show the following sales on each business unit per quarter, the specific item sold, and the region or plant was the sales originated. This intend to help the management decide whether to continue or discontinue producing the product. The business units are as follows. First, the milk, where the fresh milk, soy milk, almond milk, non-fat milk are included. The code is 23S200. The next is the cookies, where the chocolate chip, oatmeal, classic, no bake are included. The code is 36S100. The canned goods, where the tuna, salmon, Spanish sardines are included. The code is 21S300. The fourth is the pasta, where the spaghetti, pen, rigatoni are included. The code is 24S400. And lastly, the condiments, where the ketchup, mayonnaise, soy sauce, barbecue sauce are included. The code is 19S600. Actually, it's almost similar to the table I present to you in the second sample scenario. We will use the aging report we prepared lately in the first scenario, so we don't need to set up another raw data files. To show the sales on each business unit per quarter, the specific item sold, and the region or plant where the business originated, we will utilize again the pivot table for convenience. Once more, the first step is select the dataset, go to Insert and click the Pivot Table. This will create a pivot table based on an existing range. In the Pivot Table Fields dialog box, we will choose corresponding fields based on the requirements needed. Pick the business unit label and drag it into the row area, and also the item label and the region label. Next, drag and down the quarter label in the columns area and it will reflect from first quarter up to fourth quarter. And for values area is the total cost and it will reveal the sum of the total costs. Directly, our pivot table is now filtered. The profitability of each business unit will appear and can be readily accessible by the management. So, from raw data to detailed report to financial report using a pivot table and criteria for VLOOKUP. I think that's the end of my video. So, thank you so much for watching and God bless!